Welcome back to County Connection. For this next segment, we are going to be focusing on National Water Safety Month, and here to enlighten us on this topic are Steve Procyse, Environmental Health Specialist with Summit County Public Health, and Scott Hayden, the Aquatics Coordinator from the Breckenridge Recreation Center. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks.
All right, Steve, so it is National Water Safety Month. Why do we need a Water Safety Month? What risks are out there that we should know about?
Well, when using recreational waters, there's a lot of different things to think about before you go into either pools or spas or things along those lines. If the pool or spa is not properly being maintained, there could be different diseases that could be spread by water, different pathogens, and different viruses.
Okay, what would be some of the common ones that you might people might have heard about, or ones that are of typical concern in recreational water systems?
It can really vary, but if people have heard of Legionnaire's disease, that's a bacteria that can affect the lungs. There can be cryptosporidium that can be spread through feces actually in the water, different ones like that.
Okay. So what are the various systems that are out there in use in recreational aquatic facilities? What are the various systems that are out there, and how do they do their job?
Sure. I can start off. On our end, we run a public recreation facility. So for our systems, basically, it's twofold. You want to make sure you got good disinfectant in your system. We use a halogen-based disinfectant in our pool at the Breck Rec Center.
What's a halogen?
Not to get too scientific, but it's the makeup of the disinfectant, the sanitizer that you're using. Basically has a makeup where there's a free molecule to attack all the bad stuff.
Okay.
And
the halogen that is in your system is?
Chlorine.
All right.
And chlorine that's the most popular disinfectant in the world, really. So you see that in most facilities. If you walk into a pool area, you can kind of smell it. It smells like chlorine bleach almost a little bit. It means it's working, which is a good smell. Bromine is another halogen-based disinfectant. It's a sanitizer. That doesn't smell quite like chlorine, so you might not recognize that it's being used, but it has the same effects. So
okay.
That's the one part, and then also good filtration system, whether it's a sand filter or a cartridge filter, something along those lines in place, so you're getting circulation going, water movement.
All right. So you've obviously got, I would assume you have multiple staff who are kind of monitoring, or maybe
Sure.
It rests all on your shoulders.
Yeah, it does. If it did rest on my shoulders, I'd make sure to go out and get staff. Because we're open 16 hours a day. So pool's available to the public during that time. So we want to make sure we're meeting our standards as well as any state standards or national standards. So we have on staff, including myself, we have 4 CPOs on staff, certified pool operators, which is a nationally recognized certification you have to take a test for and get certified for. I'm also an AFO, an aquatic facility operator, which is same type of standards, standardized testing. It's run by the National Parks and Recreation Association. So those are good certs to have, and those are ones that we maintain in our facility.
All right. So for folks who are using aquatic facilities, whether they have them in their home or they might have them in their condo complex, or any variety of places where you encounter pools and spas, and they're not certified pool operators,
Right.
How can they be sure that they're protecting themselves?
Well, using different condos or lodging facilities is kind of a gray area, because if those facilities are running to the public, those facilities actually need to have a AFO or a CPO on staff.
Okay.
That's something that in Summit County hasn't been enforced regularly in the past, and we only do on a complaint basis. If facilities are actually, or if people are using private homes and maintaining their own private pools and spas, what they should really do is try to understand how their system works. And with that system, they should understand how the chemicals work that they're using with it.
Okay.
A lot of times they can go right to the manufacturer's label, make sure that those chemicals are actually designed for their use. And if they're having issues with those, they can either contact the manufacturer, or if they don't understand their own private system at home, they can contact a lot of the private companies here in Summit County that really have a good understanding and have CPOs and stuff on staff that can help them do that.
Okay, great. And are there any particular pitfalls that people should be aware of, or things that you really need to keep an eye on?
Just with private homes and hot tubs, what I've seen is, people don't check their water chemistry and change their waters regularly as like an aquatic facility does. They also don't get the same swimmer load, so they're not affected as much. But having a good understanding of your private pool and spa and checking that water chemistry regularly, changing the water, cleaning out your filters will really help you maintain it and keep it safe.
Okay. And let's see. So, Steve, can you talk about the role that Summit County Public Health plays? You sort of touched on it, but when do you come into play with some of these recreational aquatic facilities?
So, with the recreational aquatic facilities, like Scott's, anytime that there is a complaint from the public that we receive in our department, we would go out and do a complaint inspection. At that time, we are enforcing the Colorado state regulations pertaining to swimming pools and mineral baths, which that's available on the Colorado state website. So at that time, we'll actually verify the facility is meeting Colorado state regulation. And if they're not, we do work with the facility to try to get them aligned with the Colorado state regulation.
Okay. So how are these guys doing over at the Breck Rec Center?
They're doing great. We've made a great relationship with the facility.
Excellent. All right. Are there any other things that you think the public should know about water safety?
Just in basic terms, anytime you're going to go use a body of water, be it a pool or spa or go into, say, some hot springs, there's a couple things you really want to look for before you get in. If the water is really cloudy, you can't see the bottom of the pool, you'd want to stay out. If there's a real strong odor associated with it that's not necessarily a chlorine smell, there could be issues with the water chemistry. And then also another thing, always make sure, especially for these guys, they'll appreciate it, but always make sure that you're taking a shower before and after you get out.
Okay. So pay attention to those signs because they're definitely posted all over.
Absolutely. Yeah, the less you shower before you get in pools, the more that we have to work on our end to make sure that the pools are staying clean and clear. So there's a comfortability aspect to it where you're feeling comfortable when you leave the pool, when you're in the environment the whole time. So little things like that really help out, and everybody else around you, you're sharing. So make sure you're clean before you enter and before you exit, and that really helps out sanitation-wise.
Excellent. Yeah. All right, so if anybody has more questions about this topic and keeping their pools and spas safe and clean, how can they get in touch with you guys?
They can either contact me at Summit County Environmental Health Department, and my phone number is 970-668-4071.
Yeah, and feel free to always come over to the Breckenridge Recreation Center and check out the pool. You can call us at 970-453-1734. They'll patch you into the front desk, and front desk will handle any questions you have about our facility and our pool area.
All right, excellent. Scott and Steve, thanks so much for coming by and sharing all this great info with us.
Thanks.
Thanks, it's been a pleasure.
All right, and happy National Water Safety Month.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, stick with us. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk with Transit Director Jim Andrew.